Have you ever felt completely alone, even in a room full of people? Have you ever questioned if God is truly with you in those moments of solitude? It's a question that gnaws at the heart of every individual at some point in their lives. We live in a world that often leaves us feeling isolated, disconnected, and alone. In these moments of intense solitude, it can be easy to feel as if we've been left to fend for ourselves, as if God has somehow forgotten about us. You might ask, where is God in this? Why doesn't He intervene? These questions, while entirely human, can sometimes cast a shadow over our faith, creating an illusion of God's absence. But let's take a moment to consider this. Could it be that in these moments of solitude we are given an opportunity to experience God's presence in a more profound way? But I assure you, even in the darkest hour, God is with you. I recall a time in my life when I was surrounded by a similar darkness, feeling completely alone. It was a seemingly insurmountable period of my life, a season of trials and tribulations that pushed me to the edge. I was in a place where the echoes of solitude were deafening, and the weight of despair threatened to crush my spirit. I remember the long nights spent wrestling with my thoughts, the tears that stained my pillow, the questions that filled my mind. Where is God in all of this? I found myself asking. Why has He left me in this state of despair? I felt abandoned, alone, and adrift in a sea of uncertainty. But amidst this turmoil, something began to shift within me. It was a slow and gradual process, like the first rays of dawn creeping over the horizon after a long, dark night. I began to sense a presence, a comforting warmth that seemed to envelop me, even in my darkest moments. It was subtle at first, a whisper of hope in the silent corners of my heart. I clung to this sliver of hope, nurturing it with prayers and quiet moments of reflection. As I did, I began to feel less alone, less abandoned. The realization dawned on me that even in my loneliness I was never truly alone. God was there, in the silence, in the solitude. He was there in the midst of my struggle, offering His unwavering support and love. Through this ordeal, I learned a profound truth. Our feelings of abandonment are not a reflection of God's presence in our lives, but rather our perception of His presence. God doesn't leave us when the going gets tough. Instead, He draws near, offering His strength and comfort to see us through. And through it all, I realized I was never alone. God was there, guiding me, supporting me, loving me. Even in the midst of darkness, God's presence is a beacon of hope, a testament to His unfailing love and steadfast commitment to us. In those moments of solitude, when you feel like you're facing the world alone, remember this: God never abandons you. There is a divine presence, an unseen hand that guides us through the darkest nights and brings us into the light of a new day. It's in these moments that we feel God's presence most profoundly, a presence that is constant and unchanging. Consider the story of a man who found himself alone, lost in the wilderness of life. This man felt abandoned by the world, but in his solitude, he found a companion he had overlooked: God. He felt a divine support guiding him, leading him on a path towards hope and renewal. This man's story is not unique, for many of us have been in similar situations where we felt abandoned, only to realize that it was in these moments of solitude that God was most present. Faith and trust in God become crucial during these times. It's the faith that despite the trials and tribulations we face, there is a divine plan at work, a plan that we may not understand but must trust. It's the trust that, even in our darkest hours, God is with us, guiding us, supporting us, and never abandoning us. In your life, look for signs of God's presence. It may be in the kindness of a stranger, the beauty of a sunrise, or the comfort of a familiar song. These signs are God's way of reminding us that we are not alone, that He is with us, always. God's presence is not limited to grand gestures or miraculous events. It can be found in the smallest moments, the quietest whispers, and the most unexpected places. It's in these moments when we feel most alone that God's presence becomes most evident. So the next time you feel alone, remember God is with you. He never abandons you. He is your guiding light in the darkness, your unwavering support in times of solitude.